all done through the brain. It's the brain's reaction to these tortures that they're applying back to them. We call it no-touch torture, and so the assumption for most human beings, well, if I don't see blood or mutilation, it can't be that bad. Well, what the brain perceives is far worse than that. In fact, the pains are amplified, sensitized, and are extremely vulnerable to these circuits being stimulated. You got to remember, this is called offensive information warfare technology. So it's just like hacking a computer. You are trying to crash that computer. You're trying to crash that human being.
Well, what do y'all want to happen?
I don't want anything to happen to you.
Are there other Georgians being targeted as well?
I'm not aware of anybody.
If your son or daughter was being targeted, would it be okay?
No, I would try to get them some treatment.
For being targeted with a microwave weapon? That would be Loudermilk's job, wouldn't it?
No,
He's a congressman.
no, these are local authorities who would be investigating. We don't do that.
So when I leave here, I'm going to be yelled and screamed at, microwave auditory effect, all the way to my next job.
I just never heard of this. This is something new.
It's psychological warfare, and it's a war crime.
Yeah.
And again, the federal level, congressmen and stuff is telling me that local law enforcement needs to do something.
Yeah. Usually, well, and that's
it's harassing communications.
right.
The definition of that, I forget what it is, but any harassing communications using any electronic means,
Right.
that's already Georgia state law.
Right.
And so I'm just tired of being run around in circles by law enforcement.
Yeah, but the device that they're using, and if what you're telling me, okay, is a device that locals, law enforcement would have nothing to be able to combat with except on a federal level. And I know this. I've been doing this for 24 years. Federal level would have to handle this, okay?
So you have no ability to enforce Georgia state?
No, we haven't.
harassing
Wait,
communications
but for the device to be analyzed or looked at, that would have to be on a federal level.
What about investigating the psychopaths that told me they're doing this to me?
Example of something that we don't have, so we have to reach out to another agency.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Right. So
But you're not willing to reach out to another agency.
Uh,
Domestic terrorism.
if we have, I mean, I'm confused as to what you're saying.
You're not willing to reach out to another agency regarding electronic harassment.
Harassing communications is not domestic terrorism.
It is at this level.
When it's one person versus another person, that's called a crime against a person. Harassing communications is not domestic terrorism.
3.5 years of
It can go on for many
losing
years.
jobs, losing your family. That's
How is that terrorism? Because you're the only person targeted.
it's okay for me to be terrorized.
Not at all. You're being harassed.
Would you want your family to be terrorized?
I would not. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just telling you the answers that I can provide you. That's all I know.
There's a counterweight in the system, like at the federal level. This is a dark program. I'm not the only one being targeted.
Yeah, I've been researching it since I talked to you the other day. And you're not.
There's a lawsuit. The American people should be demanding the right to cognitive liberty right now. Your brains are very accessible.